Hi, Javed.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm so sorry. I just haven't been able to. I had some medical issues and stuff going on. So lots of stuff going on.
No, that's totally cool. No problem.
How, yeah, so it was good. You guys got the threading thing done. I should try to take a look at it. I'll do it sometime.
Cool.
Oh,
Ah, I can see you. Nice. I like the background.
yeah. I mean, missing New York. So gotta survive.
That's good.
Yeah. This is Goldman had an event at a rooftop. So this is one of those pictures.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, they were launching their new electronic trading platform. So yeah,
Okay.
Okay, leave it. Okay, leave it.
one of those.
Okay. Most of the stuff I did, you guys are probably familiar with, but I'll go through what I know so far. Okay, let me share my screen.
Hello.
Open plants and trees. 100 bees.
Okay, I'll get started. Looks like we got a good number here. The point of what I wanted to do, and good show of you're here too. That's great.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. So I've been working very closely with Shoaib on trying to get up to speed on the Ibkr API, and I think we made a lot of headway. So I wanted to kind of share what I think we've come up with so far in terms of understanding the API. And then, it's endless scope for creativity once you have the pieces. So Shoaib, feel free to jump in anytime. And I know you do a better job of explaining things than I do, usually.
You're too humble.
So I'll start, and then I know I'll get stuck in some places, so feel free to take from me. But I think one of the ways that I can get organized is to start a Word document and share it. Let me share it with you guys. Share my screen. Yeah. Okay. So I'm sharing this screen. Let me open a blank document. Okay, great. So let me try to get organized on a thought process here about automating the wheel strategy. So I'll call it automating the wheel strategy. So a couple of things I was thinking about to do to automate it was place trades, pull in data, analyze data, do research on the numbers. Okay, so even if you just I like the whole keep it simple. What's the last test? Stupid?
Sir, keep
Sir,
it
sir, that's
simple,
right.
sir.
Sir, I like that. I like that. Keep it simple, sir. Keep it simple, sir or ma'am. So place trades, pull in data, analyze data. Even if you just do this one, just place trades, you know, you have some automation there. You can, you know, walk in the morning, log in, and have your trades set on a Monday and just open the trade for the week and then log in on Friday and roll for next week, or don't do anything Friday and just log in again Monday, and then it'll place the trade. How about it places the trade like, you know, a little after the open, like 10:30 or something. So there you have some automation. I don't think you have to feel like you have everything done before you try it, at least on paper trade. I think what I'll probably start doing is, since we know how to place trades very well, I will set a covered call trade for like 10:30 in the morning on a Monday, and then I'll keep that on a timer to do it exactly again on the next Monday. In the beginning, you know, I haven't figured out exactly how to combine it with check position, but it shouldn't be too hard. But I'll just manually check position. So manually, you know, one scenario one, to start, just manually check position, automatically place trade, repeat. You know, that's one loop right there. At least there's some automation, because I think what happens with this exercise is you like try to get it finished and complete and perfect, and honestly speaking, it'll never be perfect. It's trading, right? So it'll always require some more improvement, optimization on your side, so it'll never actually be done. So I say, you know, start with what you know, fire trades, and then get better and deeper and optimize and improve. It's like you won't live enough lifetimes to keep going and making it better. So at least start on the journey and take the first step with what you know. So Shoaib, you have any thoughts on that, on what I said there? Okay. So let me start with the place a trade, because I think, see, if you, as long as you can place a trade, you can do this. You can manually check the position, place a trade, and repeat. So the first thing for those who aren't familiar yet, I think, is downloading the right thing. So just to get your environment ready, and please forgive me if I use the wrong syntax or words, but preparation, I'll call this preparation. Get environment ready. So what that includes is download Python, download your IDE like PyCharm, you know, download the iBroker API, download TWS, download IB Gateway. Okay, so those are the first couple of things you should do first to get ready. I'll just leave this open for anybody who hasn't downloaded any of those. So try to download those. Let me know if you get stuck while I get a glass of water, and see if you can download all 5 of those things to get ready.
So was the IB gateway also needed?
It's lighter. It's lighter. It's not needed, but it's lighter than TWS. It's thinner. It's a thinner client.
Oh, what does IB gateway mean? Is it for interactive brokers or is it something else?
It's interactive brokers. Yep.
Okay. Okay. So that's only needed if you're using the IBKR, right?
Oh yeah, I'm only talking about IBKR today.
Then why do you have the TWS there?
That's IBKR. That's IBKR. TWS is Trader Workstation is the front end for IBKR.
Oh, sorry. I got confused with TOS. I somehow read it as TOS. Sorry.
Let me
Yeah,
write
okay.
Trader Workstation.
Yeah. Somehow I read it as that.
Let me go get a drink of water. So I'll let you guys download some of those while I go get a drink.
Does everybody have URLs to download from? So I just posted the URL to download Python from.
Guys, are we downloading the latest or the stable?
Latest should be fine.
Okay. TWS. Python I had, so IBKR.
So second link I posted is for PyCharm. You would actually get a 30-day trial for professional edition, but the community edition is free.
And that I have. Okay, IB Gateway and TWS, and the third was IBKR API, right? Why isn't that showing up here? Do you have the link, Ashok, for IBKR API? Because I went to their client portal. I got the TWS, downloaded that, and I got the IB Gateway. But the IBKR, why don't I see? Okay, maybe here.
So I'm trying to pull up that link.
I think I may have found it. If I do, I'll post it.
Okay. So here's the link for IBKR API software. And when the page comes up, I think the second icon from the left-hand side, it says Trader Workstation TWS API. API is Application Program Interface. When you click on that, it will take you in the middle of the page. And there's a download and resource icon. So once you click on that, all the download resource will appear on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, it will show IB Gateway. So the difference between TWS and IB Gateway is TWS is a visual graphical user interface to your trading activity, but it has a larger footprint. What I mean by that is it requires your computer to have enough memory to pull all the option chain, everything to show you everything visually. On the other side, IB Gateway, Interactive Brokers Gateway, it's just a gateway to your program to interact with IBKR servers. So it has lighter footprint. It will do all the functions that TWS will do, except that it doesn't have the graphical user interface. So if we are starting up initially, it is recommended to use TWS API, TWS Workstation actually, so that you can actually visually see that your order being placed, your order being queued, how your stop loss and bracket orders are in place. But once we kind of like hone in and master that program, then you can just run IB Gateway and let the program do the part. Any questions around that?
Sure. There's a third one also that's mentioned in the document. So I was able to download these two, but there's something called IBKR API also mentioned.
So IBKR is the actual API.
Right.
The API will provide the necessary libraries for us to write the program. So all
Right.
these three items are required.
Do you have the link for that one? That's the only one I couldn't find.
So if you click on the link that I'm going to highlight 1 second on this link, if everybody is seeing the,
Yeah, I have
yeah.
that.
Could you please click on that link as well, Javed?
Yeah, which link is it? Sorry.
On the, yeah, that one, yes.
This one?
Yes. So it will scroll down.
Should I give you the share screen? Maybe that's better. I can give you the share. I'll stop share. You can take my share screen.
All right, let me share my screen. Everyone can see my screen?
Yes.
Super. Click on this link, please. Click on this. Once you click on this, it will scroll down to this level, and actually it will be hidden for you. But once you click on this download resource button, this button, it will show all these resources and IB gateways.
Yeah, but that's only two, right? So in the list we have three. Where's the third? Or is it just these two we have to get?
So this is the API.
Yeah.
This is the gateway. This is the TWS.
Okay, so there's nothing called iBroker API. Okay, I'll get these.
I think they are using that interchangeably. Back to you, Javed.
Okay. Thank you, Shoaib.
Welcome.
So if everybody downloaded those items, let me put them up again. We can keep going. So Python, PyCharm, API, Creator Workstation, and Gateway. These three are from iBroker. And this is the PyCharm is the IDE I like, but you can choose any IDE you like. And
Hi, sorry, we cannot see your screen.
oh, okay. Who was that? Who said that?
That's me, Moin.
Yeah, hold on. Okay. Now I'm screen sharing. Here we go. Okay. There's my screen. So Python, PyCharm, and then these three things from iBroker. And Shoaib put the links in the chat. So make sure you download all three of those, all five of those. That's what you need to get going. Anybody have a problem downloading those? Who got stuck? Okay, nobody got stuck? Good. All right, so we keep going. So after you downloaded all those, you can open up the main API file, which is program.py. So I'm going to go into my IDE, PyCharm, right here. And I'm going to create a new project. Call whatever you want. Call the project whatever you want. You can call it demo by broker API.
Do you mind if we record this?
I'm recording it.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if I'm going to distribute it. Telling you now. Then in the project you created, make sure you bring in the program.py file. And so the program.py file should be in your C drive. Let me go to my C drive. Let's see. There we go. C drive. Okay. And then TWS API. So in your local disk, that's where it should have downloaded it. It's just a bunch of files. Right? So it's in TWS API, samples, Python, testbed. Okay, these are where all your files are. Maybe I could copy this and paste it. Copy address as text. And I'll paste it in the chat, in the Zoom chat. Here we go. I'm pasting it in the chat. That's where it should be, all your files. TWS API in the hard drive, samples, Python, testbed. The main file here, the main two files that you should be focused on is program.py and contractsamples.py. So take those two files and open them up in your PyCharm. I'm not going to show you the best way to do it. I'm going to show you the way I do it, which is not necessarily the best way to do it. This is not best practices by any means. But I go to my PyCharm project in Windows, the one I just created, and I paste it there in Windows. And then I open it up in PyCharm. That's not a best practices. That's just like a Java practices. So PyCharm, when you download PyCharm and get it going, it should have created this subdirectory called PyCharm project. That's where I usually keep my PyCharm projects. But you can keep your PyCharm projects wherever you want to save them. Doesn't matter. So I'm going to open those two files in my PyCharm, my IDE. So I'm going back to PyCharm, going to that project I created. That was file, new project, and I created this file. I had this directory. And then as you see, it's showing up right there, program.py. If you double click it, it opens it on the right. And then contract samples. Now, not to go too fast, but when this is kind of made up of a couple of windows. So the left side shows you all your files and your project directory. The right side shows you your code and colors it and tells you when code looks funny and it's not going to run right. And then when you right click it, you can run it by using this right run, and then it'll show you the name of the Python file. Okay, so that's the easiest way to run it. Just hit right click and run. What we're going to do first is fire a trade, and just to go through this, program.py, even before that, program.py has kind of everything you could possibly do in iBroker to talk to it. It's made up primarily of two different, I'm going to butcher this, but Shoaib, feel free to correct me. But it's made up of two primary operations, I guess. One is eClient and the other is eWrapper. And you can see them right here, eClient and eWrapper, right? So what eClient does is it sends instructions to the API to get things done, to make calls on the API. So like, for instance, check your position, create an order, send an order, see if you got filled, things like that. And then the wrapper, eWrapper, that reports back to you from the API what's going on. So let's say you want to pull in market data. So through eClient, you would say, give me market data. Through eWrapper, the market data will come back to you. But let's say you fired a trade. That would be eClient. Then eWrapper would tell you if the trade got fired and what price you got it at. So that's the way this API works. You send calls to the API, get things done, and then the API sends you results back of what got done. And then you use that again to send more calls to the API. That's my basic understanding of how this API works. It's basically eClient and eWrapper. So we took pieces out of this API to create a program that fires trades. Okay, so now we get to the good stuff. Hopefully by now you all have your PyCharm loaded up. You have you loaded up these two files. And then we're going to take a smaller version of this program.py to fire the trade. So I'm going to go to the GitHub directory where I saved that file. Hopefully if everybody is connected to this GitHub. If you're not, then let me or Shoaib know and we can connect you to the GitHub. Just DM us on WhatsApp. We can invite you. And the directory is called Algo Think Tank. The organization is called Algo Think Tank. We created an organization called Algo Think Tank. And then the repository in that is IBKR that we've been focused on. But you can look at these older repositories that we built up too.
Hey, I'm sorry, Algo Think Tank. Okay.
Algo Think Tank, yep, Algo Think Tank.
Okay, let me go check.
Is Kanaya on the call? Kanaya actually cracked this whole how to fire trades using threading. So I wanted to pull up Kanaya's file. This one. This one has the threading in it. Okay. So we're going to do both trades.
So Javed, I don't see Algo Think Tank. Is that because I'm not connected?
I can check. Hold on. Before I lose this, let me create it. So I'm going to create a new Python. Just give me 1 sec.
Sure.
I'm going to create a new Python file. The way you create a new Python file is File, New. Choose Python file. Give it a name.
Could you
Yeah.
DM me the
Handle?
GitHub handle? Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
Okay, one of the easiest, you know what? I didn't do this the right way here. Well, I'm still going to do it the wrong way, but I'm going to do it in a less wrong way. So best way is to download Git and, you know, pull and push from the Git app. But I'm going to do it a little bit less ghetto than what I just did. So what you want to do if you want to copy paste, you do raw, go to raw, then you could do a Control A, Control C, and just paste it. That's an easy way from GitHub. Another thing you could do in GitHub, now, mind you, I am definitely not the master of GitHub, but this is just stuff I figured out by using it. Another thing you could do is download all the files at once by saying code download zip, and it'll download all of them in a zip file. But if you don't want all of them, what I do is I go to the file I want, open it up, click raw, and then it's easy to just Control A, Control C, and drop it into your IDE.
Actually, there'll be a plugin for this PyCharm to talk
Oh,
to Git.
plugin for Git?
Yeah. So the PyCharm, it's from JetBrains, right? It'll have
Yeah.
a plugin for Git, so you can install that plugin and then you work directly from your IDE and pull and push whatever you want.
That's the right way. Simi said the right way to do it. Thank you, Simi. That's the right way. One day I will give that demo. So I'll ask somebody else to give it. But that's the correct way to do it. Download the plugin for JetBrains, and then JetBrains will pull and push directly to GitHub.
Yeah, let me try it. If I can do it now, I can show you guys.
Yeah, that'd be great if you
a
could do
little
it.
bit, yeah.
That'd be
Hey,
great.
Javed,
Yeah.
I'm in GitHub. I'll go think tank, but I see only 5 repositories. I don't see IBKR.
Who is this?
Altaf.
Altaf, could you see the Algo think tank?
Yeah. And within that, I see 5 repositories: Yahoo, Data Pool, Indicators, Backtester, and SP500. I don't see IBKR, the top one.
Could you DM me your GitHub handle, please?
Okay,
Thank
sure.
you.
Okay, Simi, when you're ready, you tell me.
Yeah, I just installed the PyCharm, so I'll just
Okay, no.
I think keep going. I'll keep trying to. Yeah.
Okay, I'll keep going. So I'll talk through this code in the way I understand it. Job, you want me to try, or I think you would do it better than me, honestly. I remember you did a phenomenal job when we did this a couple months ago.
Which part you're talking about?
I was just going to explain the basics of the code on how to fire a trade.
No, go ahead. I will.
Did I start and then you finish?
I'll tag along, I think.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
You got it.
I'll start. In every Python file, every Python program, sorry, you have this header, and the header basically imports packages, right? So people already wrote most of the programs you need nowadays, and these are all programs that have been written. And the IB API obviously is a program that was written to talk to the interactive brokers order management system. And then these are other packages that you import that will also be used. So anytime you write a Python program, you first import your packages. Those are programs, libraries that this program is going to call on to get what it wants to get done. Next, we create a class that includes the eWrapper eClient functions that I talked about before. Those are the main calls in interactive brokers. eClient sends instructions to the API to get things done. eWrapper brings that information back of what's going on to tell you what's going on and reports to you. Okay, so that's what we did here, is we created the class. Then we initialized Then we created this function called next valid ID, which basically
Finds the next valid order ID from the IBKR server.
there you go. There you go. Exactly what Shoaib said. Finds the next valid order ID from the IBKR server. I kind of say it to myself so I get it right in my head. Perfect. So it kind of flows through that, right? And ticks through each order ID. So you can organize yourself by creating order IDs. Order status reports to you what the status of the current order is, just like you see it in your IBKR front end or Thinkorswim front end. You know, tells you what's going on. Is it filled or not? How many orders are remaining? What the fill price was. This reports to you back what happened. Okay, and what's going on with your order. Open order gives you the details of your order. It has the symbol of your order, what type of security, what exchange you're doing, what you're doing in the order type, quantity, number of shares, and the current status. And then executive details tells you again what the details of your order and the execution is. Okay. These are reporting wrapper function, right? And then you have your run loop, which runs this app called IB API. That's what we called it here. You can give it whatever name you want right here, you know, but make sure you call on it correctly. App equals IB API right here in line 48. So if you change this name of your class, then make sure you change it right here and then when you call on it, when you call on the class. Next, we're going to connect to the API. This is where the magic happens, right? Instead of being a human connecting to it and interacting with it, the program is connecting to the API. Machines talking to machines right here, line 41. We're setting up the connection. Now, this is the IP address. 7497 is very important. If we can get a screenshot here of the settings in TWS and IB Gateway, that would be great. So you have to go in and set up the IB Gateway configuration settings and TWS configuration settings. We can send around a screenshot in the chat maybe. I'm going to pull up my Trader Workstation just so you could see the settings on the screen, but somebody could drop in a screenshot of how you do the configuration settings. You just got to check off of the right boxes here. And make sure your port in the TWS is matching the port that you have here. Use TWS when you're firing orders. Use IB Gateway when you're doing everything else. Because the convenience of TWS front end is you can see the orders in the front end. It's very easy to see your reporting.
Can we drop screenshots in chat?
Yes.
Okay, let me try that.
Just if you save your screenshot as a JPEG, then I think you could just attach the JPEG to the chat, I think.
Yeah, it's a little roundabout approach. Can I put it in the chat? Yeah, WhatsApp.
Yeah, if you drop it in the WhatsApp, I'll pull it up.
Okay. So I pulled up the old screenshot and I pasted in the ETF Elite WhatsApp group. Let me put it in wheel automation as well.
Okay, got it. Okay. Here it comes. Boom. There it is. Okay, so this is Trader Workstation settings. Make sure you have, okay, the way you go here, oh, my update failed. This is not going to be fun today. I've been having trouble with this trading platform.
I also had the same error just a little bit ago. I had to turn off the Norton, or something. I had to do that.
Oh, okay. I'm getting blocked. Okay, that's good. Hold on, let me
Maybe
see.
now it's working for you. Okay.
Maybe it's working. Okay, good. Silent mode. Turn off my shields. Okay, great. It looks like it wants to work. Hopefully, I turned off some firewall. Maybe I could turn off Windows security.
I wouldn't do that.
No? Okay, don't turn that off.
No.
Oh, it worked. Okay, good. So here's the screenshot. So the way you go there is you go to File and Settings. I don't
Global
have
settings.
global settings. Yeah, File, Global Settings. And when you go to File, Global Settings, this window opens up. Then you click API. Then Settings. Then check this box. Uncheck this box. Check Enable ActiveX and Socket Clients. Uncheck Read-Only API. And make sure this socket port is 7497. And actually, I learned something, Shoaib. You could put 7496 in there and still do it through paper trails. I learned that this morning.
Yeah, we don't want to do that, because if we are thinking that we are using paper trading and we code everything together, right?
Yep.
And by mistake, if we open up our real money account,
Yep.
then the trades will start firing against the real money.
Oh, okay, good. So don't do that. Just kidding. X that from the record. Just always put 7497 for Trader Workstation and put 4002 for IB Gateway. Those are the only things you really have to change here. Everything else, just leave the way it is. Change your socket port to 7497. Uncheck read-only API and check enable ActiveX and stuff. Okay, so make sure your setup is good though. Okay, everybody have that? Right, I'm gonna move away from this. And then let me keep going through the program. All right, run loop. Okay, I'm down here, the connection, setting up the connection. Next order ID, which we had up here, right here. And then here's the threading. Start the socket in a thread. Check if the API is connected via order ID. Right here, checking if we're connected. Reporting if you're connected or not. Printing if you're connected or not. And then we create the order object. This is where the good stuff happens. In order to create basically anything that you want to do that has a security involved, anything outside of reporting on your position and account, if you're going to actually do anything like trade, you have to define the contract. Okay, and this is where we define the contract. This is called defining the contract. So define the contract. What that means is tell iBroker what security you're trading. So are you trading a stock? Are you trading an option? Are you trading a future? Are you trading FX? iBroker has the capability to trade anything that moves. Basically anything. You got to specifically tell it what you're trading. Okay? So here, there's two parts to this actually. The first part is the order, and the second part is the contract. I usually do it the other way around, but I'll leave it the way it is. So usually I define the contract first, and then I define the order that I want to do. So let me talk about the contract first. There's this file in the API directory called contract samples. Okay? You can use this as a template or call on the file itself to define any type of contract you could think of. As you see, there's endless types of contracts that you do. and each contract is basically a security, a type of security. The one we're going to do today is a stock, and we're going to do an option next. Okay, and we're going to do them both at the same time. Okay, using this threading. So here's the definition of a stock. When you define a stock contract, you got to say contract equals contract, parentheses. And then we're going to define the symbol, put it in quotes. Contract type is stock. When this is options, it'll say OPT. You could see this template right here. It's US stock. If you search for US stock. There we are, US stock, line 132 in the contract sample. So it matches up with this template. If you don't remember the template, just look it up in contract samples and copy paste it into your program. So symbol, security type, exchange, I usually use smart, so it smart routes it, and then currency, USD. Okay? And then you define your order. So order equals order, parentheses. Order action is buy, or you could put sell here. Order quantity means how many shares you're buying. And then order type can be market. And the only two we really have been using lately is market or limit. Limit would be LMT. If you don't know what kind of orders you want to do, it's also in the API. Okay, so you go back to the API. Go back to where your API was downloaded. Okay, TWS API. And go back to samples. Go back to Python, testbed. And here there's a file called order samples. Order samples has basically any type of order you would want to do. Here, order samples, okay? So limit order right there, LMT. Market order, MKT, boom, okay? Easy. So if you don't remember, go to order samples and copy this, okay? And paste it in your program, okay? Everybody with me so far? Who's confused? Okay, good. Next, you actually place the order. Okay, this comes from program.py, all right? App.place order. Next order ID. We define the. Go ahead.
Ask questions, guys. Silence is acknowledgement.
Yes. Ask questions for forever hold your peace.
Hey Javad, Vijay here.
Yes, go.
Yeah, I understand the order and contract. Could you explain a little bit about the e-client and the wrapper?
Yeah. Shoaib is awesome at
Can I-
that. Shoaib, could you please?
Sure.
I can stop
So-
sharing. I can stop sharing.
No. Keep sharing. Keep sharing. I'm going to annotate on top of that,
Oh,
Thank
you
you.
got it. Okay.
or
Here we go.
yeah, I will have to pull up the program and all that.
Okay. I will scroll.
So I'm going to annotate, and everybody tell me that you are able to see the red box that I just drew.
Yes, we can see.
Yes.
Super. So that is your program. E-client, whatever you write in this program, E-client will talk to IBKR servers. And the IBKR servers will process your request through the program that you wrote here and reply back. So when they reply back, the e-wrapper will decipher the information that is coming back from IBKR server and translate it back to your program so that you can your program can display it on the console or record it in the log file. So that is the e-client. sending requests to the IBKR servers, right?
Okay, great. So it's eClient is the request and wrapper is the response.
Correct.
Okay.
And there are other libraries that are dependent on eClient. So for example, the contract, the order, there are some utilities. There's utilities right there. There are common, there's like a bunch of other libraries that eClient uses the actual functions from them and classes from them to send a request to IBKR. Hey, process my order. Hey, put a stop loss. Hey, put a bracket order around this. Hey, cancel my order. Hey, what is my order status? And so on and so forth. I can keep going on and on and on, right? So it processes that information and it talks back to us through eWrapper. eWrapper actually deciphers the information that is coming back from IBKR server and displays it, like I said earlier, on the console or in the log file. Any questions around these guys?
Yeah, now I understand it better. Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
So this eClient and eWrapper are like built in, those are from the IBKR macros kind of a thing. They're
So
not our own.
eWrapper and eClient are the primary classes or libraries, I should say, of API. API is, the core of API is eClient and eWrapper, the give and take. Everything else falls under this umbrella.
Okay.
So if you look at the first item that Javed just showed, eClient and eWrapper is there.
So this particular code of class, we just copied and pasted from IBKR. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay, so this is, so we are not, okay.
What do you mean copy and paste from here?
I mean, this is provided by IBKR, and since this is something for IBKR that we are using like a tool, or like some, you know, what I should say is like a interface. We need that particular function, class, whatever it is. It is a, like any person who is trying to connect to IBKR through the API will be using the similar to wrappers or the whatever you call it.
Right. So I think
Everybody
I
in the world,
understand your
right?
question now. So every single person who is going to talk to IBKR servers using a program, so if they are communicating programmatically through algos, will use the IB API. API consists of multiple classes. Some of those classes, or the primary classes, I should say, is eClient and eWrapper. There are other classes also. There's like list of it, but the primary ones are eClient and eWrapper. There's a e-reader signal, you know, combo legs, contracts, so on and so forth. There are like huge number of them. But to get started, the basic elements are eClient and eWrapper.
Okay, makes sense.
Hey, Shoaib or Javed. So I'm just listening, Divan here, or I'm just listening in. Okay, I do not have an iBroker account itself. So one question, the API access, we do not get the API access for iBroker Lite account, correct?
That is
we
correct.
Only get it for, okay.
You have to have a pro.
Okay, thank
But
you.
pro doesn't mean you're a professional. Pro just means you're willing to pay commissions if you make trades. But you don't have to pay anything to pro, except for if you want to get live market data, then you pay $14 a month, like a $10 subscription and a $4.95, like $15 a month. For
Live market data means, are you talking about the L2 data or the just regular direct live quotes?
live quotes, live market data quotes.
And L2.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and yeah, and the level 2 book, sorry, level 2. Level 2 and top of book, both.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay.
You get everything. Like, it's insane. I don't know if we'll get to it today, but Shoaib and I, we pulled up. This is what you cannot get anywhere else at any other broker that you're using right now. We pulled up quotes for options throughout the day. You could pull it up live, bid offer on the options all day, and it'll stream. Or you can even pull up the history at any period level, whether it's tick level, or you could pull it up by every minute, every couple of seconds, and you'll see all the historic bid offers, all the prints, all the trades, on any particular option security, which you cannot do even in Thinkorswim. It's not going to give you any kind of quote level data, because quote is what matters for options, right? Because you only have so many trades in the option, so the trades aren't really indicative of what the market wanted to be at any given time if you're trying to calculate
Right.
or whatever. So you can't even see the bid offer history in Thinkorswim. You cannot, but here you can, and you could download it at any time. You could bring it into the buffer in Python in the terminal, and you could throw it into a data frame. So we did that this week. We downloaded the history, and then we threw it in a data frame. It was pretty impressive. And then that's a great way to calculate like extrinsic. Let's say your use case is, I want to see the extrinsic across the chain, and I want to see how it changed all day. And I want to throw an order in only when the extrinsic is this level. Well, you can actually calculate that in real time in the program that you write, and then fire the trade based on that, which you could do manually by looking at the option chain. But are you going to look at 20 extrinsics? I mean, I don't think a human being can actually do that effectively without getting exhausted, but you can have the program do that.
Understood.
Yeah, that's the power of writing this, writing the analysis, that you could analyze a lot more than you could do as a human. And then you don't have to have it fire the trade, but at least it could give you the answer. Then you could decide to fire the trade, or as we're going to show you today, you could fire the trade.
Sure. Just one request, Javed, please share this recording later on.
Okay.
I will reach out to you personally to get this recording.
I'll at least give you the recording. I just want to see that people participated.
Okay.
Like they actually came to the session. So
sure.
I'm happy to share it directly with you. Who was that?
Divan here.
Okay, great. So 2 things I missed based on your questions, which were really good. Let me open up my, the browser window. Shoaib did a great job of explaining this before. IBKR has extensive documentation of their API. Okay, so let me show you a couple of resources here. Maybe somebody can paste it in the chat. But in the IP Gateway here, GitHub, sorry. You go IBKR API GitHub, and then you'll see their documentation in GitHub.
I just pasted a link.
Perfect. So this is extensive.
So the Git thing, actually, I found, and you can probably see it from within PyCharm too. So you don't even need to install a plugin. They have it. It's automatically there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's automatic.
Yeah,
it's by default supported.
Yeah, if you go to VCS, like in your
I'll let you share it because I'm not going to be good at this.
Yeah,
I think
tried.
either yourself or Sunil, could you please show us how to integrate on the Git and PyCharm?
Yeah, sure.
Please?
Sure.
I jumped out. So go ahead and share. Anybody can share.
Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So basically, I'm doing it live. So if we go wrong, we will learn. But so all I did is basically copied the Git path, our HTTPS path, and now I open PyCharm, and whenever we want to open a project, go to this option called Get from VCS, and you can. I just pasted this is wrong URL.
Actually, I think you need to log into Git first. Like on the left, it says account.
Okay, before.
in your pie chart.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
On the
we can
left.
do, yes, we can do that too. But I was just trying, let's see. Okay, so it's
Sure.
trying to get it. It says I'm
Yeah,
not logged in.
Yeah,
So
you
now
need
it's
to log in on.
yeah, so it's asking me to authorize. I authorized JetBrains, and now, so yeah, Simi, you're right. Either we can do like login beforehand, or
Yeah, it's on the left. It will show you. My problem was I actually didn't remember the password, so I wasn't able to log in just now.
okay.
That's why I didn't do that. And on the top, there's like a menu item. Like you don't have to do it only at the beginning. There's a VCS menu item at the top. You can always just click on that and use that in your PyCharm. Like once you've created your project, there's like, file, edit, view, navigate, code, refactor, run, tools, VCS.
Okay.
After tools, there's a VCS. If you go there and you can say get from version control, import into version control, it has create, git repo, import, all of those things.
Okay.
How did you authorize
Good to know.
PyCharm to talk to Git?
No, it's bundled in. So the plugin comes when you install
Yes.
PyCharm, they have the Git plugin in there. So
Yeah, all you have to do is do this settings preference. I didn't even do this. I think because it's by default. Basically,
Yeah.
settings preferences, version control, and then
you only
choose as
need to
GitHub.
go to VCS and start using it, and then it'll automatically give you all that to log in and everything.
Okay. I hope my authorization is done.
Yeah.
Being...
It's fine.
Yeah, it's still saying it's logging into GitHub.
Oh,
If it doesn't come back in 60
there might be a
seconds.
pop-up check in your background. There might be a pop-up waiting for you to action that pop-up. Like do Alt Tab a few times. Alt and Tab.
My Alt Tab is going to different screens. I'm not sure if you guys can see.
Yeah, I mean, keep doing it until it might show you some. I have to find my password because it's an old one. I can't log in.
You know what? Should I cancel and do it the way you suggested?
You can.
Okay.
You can try canceling.
So
go to.
And I'll GitHub.
Yeah, now log in.
Authorize.
Yeah. Okay. Now you go back to your PyCharm. Right. And do you have the project?
This one.
No. Okay.
Saying copy this to
Fine.
this directory.
Yeah, clone.
Okay. So version is git, URL is this. Cool. Okay, let's use token.
Do a generate. There's a generate.
How do you do a token? Because it didn't like my credentials.
Click on generate.
So this is going to be.
Where'd you go to generate
before
that?
you generate, Sunil? This is going to be private token, so you don't want to kind of like make that public.
Okay, so I'll
move it to the screen.
Yeah. Okay.
So Javid's question was, how do we generate token? So it will prompt you for token, and then token will have a button called generate.
Yeah, there's a button right there on the screen on the right.
Here.
Yeah.
Oh, generate?
Yeah, and then log in, and that'll let you log in for, it's just that it'll be temporary. Like it won't be permanent login. It'll use current token to log in for that session.
Yeah, it's not.
Ideally, it should be login via GitHub, but I don't know. Maybe you also don't remember the password.
No, I remember my password. I'm logged
okay,
in actually.
I don't remember my.
Yeah, it doesn't like my password either. It's strange.
Oh.
I'm
logged in as well. Just doesn't like.
It's okay. I can share token, but I can change it later. But generate token. Okay, say 1. So it will generate a new token. I copied it and pasting it here.
Yeah.
Login. Yeah, now.
Yeah, that's
But,
your current session token.
Yeah, so now it opened this thing for me. But I would like for the people who don't understand Git, I would not recommend them using it yet, because it's very powerful. It's very nice, but the problem it can cause is you might accidentally override the code, right?
Yeah, fair enough. And it is slightly complicated, I guess.
Yeah, but now I got all the
So I
IBK
think we should enforce a approval process on the Git side. Right
Yeah.
now, everybody's owner, so that will kind of like put
Yeah.
the code in danger zone.
Yes, that's what I meant when I in my earlier
Yeah.
statement, yes.
That, I mean, I could also help with. I could put in, for any pull requests to merge them, you need to get approval.
I think that will be very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it. So now you can basically directly work here, and then once you have done your changes, I think you can.
Can I add to this one?
Yep.
Okay. So for everyone who has the Git account and who has the PyCharm open, click Git here, please.
Where are you? Oh, okay. Git.
Why don't I see?
I don't see it.
I don't see Git there.
Okay.
Do you see VCS?
Yeah, VCS
Yeah,
is fine.
So
VCS.
click on VCS,
Uh-huh.
and then click on Get Version Control. Is that it? Yeah,
Get
version
from
control.
get from
if you
version
want-
control.
If
Right.
you want to pull the code in.
Do you want me to share so you can show exactly what it? No, that's fine. I think.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Simi.
So yeah, if you want to import the project from Git, you can use Get from version control. If you just want to look at it, then you can, browse this. But right now, since people want to import, you can do the Get from version control,
Oh,
and that'll take you to this.
Yeah, that's helpful actually. That's pretty good.
It's
Yeah,
asking
that
for repository or something.
Yeah, so that's the one that your github.com/ibkr.git. That's the one
Well,
that Sunil
well,
just
you can
used.
do that, but the second option is right below that. It shows GitHub and your account name or account handle. Do you see that?
Yeah, if you're logged in, yeah.
If you're logged in,
Yeah, it
click
will.
on that. It will show you all the repositories that you are member of.
Do that again. Could you do
Which
that
one?
one more time?
VCS.
Hmm?
Let me share my screen. Hold on one second.
VCS and Get from version control.
Yeah. Let me share my screen.
Yeah.
It is automatically logging me to GitHub from
Nice.
there.
Yeah.
If I click it.
Can you see my screen?
Yep.
So click VCS.
Yep.
Get
yes.
from version control.
Wait, we're in your SQL right now.
Yeah, you're in
the wrong
SQL.
screen, I think.
Okay, I'm sharing the correct screen, hopefully.
Yep. We're good.
Okay. Click on VCS.
Yep.
Click on Get from version control right there.
Okay. Cool.
Once you click on that, the option that Sunil just went over is go to Git and get your URL and paste it here. That's one way. Second option is click on GitHub right below that. You see that GitHub?
Yeah.
This year it didn't work for me.
It worked for me. Actually, it took me to the JetBrains. I logged in there. I provided access, and now it got me all those.
So once you click on that,
Yeah.
you have all the. I have a bunch of them. So the one you're looking for is this one.
I'll go think. IBKR. I got the
Right there.
backtester, data pool, all those things. Yeah.
Right.
Who said that, Sunil? Like where did you go to get connection to GitHub as opposed to logging in here? You said you did it in JetBrains?
Yeah.
Yeah, get token. When you get to the get
No,
version
what
control.
Javed is asking is the first option, that is URL. So I went to our repository, which is
When you logged in.
I'll go think tank IBKR.
Yep.
And there is a green button on.
Go ahead
there.
and share.
Okay, I'll
Sunil.
share my screen. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, I'll show. So when you go to this, I'll go think tank.
Yep.
IBKR. There is this green button called code, and this is basically our URL. So I just copied this, or you can click on this button that will copy it.
Okay. And then you pasted it in the repository URL.
Yes, that's our repository. Yeah.
Did you get past the login though? The login issue?
Yes.
No, Javed, it's not letting me log in either because I tried that password on the site. It works, but I think here you have to use token. I'm trying to install Git on my machine.
Oh, will that help if I install Git?
Yeah, because
Yes, I have Git on my machine. I was about to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because right there, in fact, it will give you go to the repository URL. You see that? Get from version control, that window. At the top, you have that repository URL.
Yeah.
Just put that URL over there, your HTTPS :/github.com/algothinktank/ibkr.git. And then it'll give you that, it'll prompt you to, like in red below, there'll be a link saying install Git. Yeah. So mine just installed. Now I'm going to clone it. Yeah. I think that's, now let me see if it will let me log into the thing here. Since this is directly Git, it might work. Yeah. Worked. So now I'm going to say this.
You want to share your screen, Simi?
Yeah.
So that everybody can see it?
Yeah, I could. I just got the entire project here.
Thank
Near
you.
the green button, there was an install Git there somewhere.
Yeah. So
Open with GitHub desktop. That's what I said.
This
no, it's in the. How do I just say share screen? Is it?
Actually, when you click on the Git and Get CVS, right there it showed a download.
Yeah.
No, not here on the main. On the PyCharm.
you can. Yeah, you can do from there
On
too.
the PyCharm, if you click on VCS.
Yeah.
If you go here, your VCS, and then you go to get from version control, right? So over here, go here, repository URL. You put your URL here. And well, I already installed it, but here it should show you in red, it should show you install Git.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Since I already did it, it won't show me. I just did it.
Okay, let me try that.
Yeah. And it let me install it and log in and everything with the same password. So after I did that, I got this project here. So all the files are here.
All right.
I can stop the share, and Javed, you can share. So if somebody who hasn't done it can see. Yeah.
We should look into putting approval process together on the IBKR because right now we have been adding everybody to be the owner. And with this Git, I think everybody will be able to write everybody else.
Yeah. That's
Right. Yeah, that we should sort out. I can check it now because there will be two things. One, you'll have to basically change them to contributors, and I can do that. And also you want to add like an approval to the commits, like for when people create PRs, pull requests, then somebody else reviews and approves
So
that pull.
what should, we should have like a official repository. This is the working repository, right? Then there will be official repository which gets pushed out of this. This is the working one, and then there will be releases, right? Like silver, golden, platinum.
Yeah, but those are branches. I mean, your repo can still be the same, right? You can create multiple branches. So you have your master branch, and you'll have your, you can have your development branch, and you can have your own. You can have as many branches as you want, but that approval process is to merge into master.
Yeah, I have done the branching way. Yeah.
Sunil, your handle is AT Sunny, right?
Yeah, at Sunny. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure so that I make you the owner as well, and Simi. So everybody else will be contributor at this point.
So the
besides
reason I'm
4 of us.
saying is we have this IBKR now, right? IBKR has all these Python programs here. So anybody can check in, right? This file right now, the way it is.
Yeah, I'm changing it. It's not going to be like that in 20
That's what
seconds.
he was saying.
Yeah, I agree. What I'm saying is if we allow and I mean, finally, when we are in the production mode, right, there should be, it should not be the same repository. It should be a stable repository
Actually,
where we can.
it's not the repo that you change. It's just you work in different branches. You have your master, and I mean the repo is the same. It's just how many ever branches you want. So if usually
See,
like
right now,
master could be your production, or your developer branch could be something you work on, and then when you release, you create a release branch and merge it into master.
yes. So Sadik, how it works is basically, as Simi explained, our main branch. Right now we have only one branch, right? So everyone is working off of this. But we should have like main or master, and then everyone either can create their own, or we can have dev and test branches. And Shoaib, we should allow like main branch check-in, or basically push should be only be done after the verification.
I think, yeah, definitely we'll get together and on a side and kind of like put that process together. So if we want to continue on to the main course, that will be great.
Yes.
Cool. Thank you guys for everyone's contribution on this.
Yeah. So Javed, do you want to share your screen then?
Yeah, sure. Sunil and Simi and Shoaib, that is incredible. It's amazing progress since the last couple of times we tried to do this, because we never were organized in the GitHub. I just kept pushing stuff there in previous. So this will be great if we create branches. Maybe everybody has a different branch, and Shoaib was right. We can have an offline discussion and get organized about rules about how to deal with the GitHub repository. I think that'll be tremendous in terms of trying to get organized on our progress. I'm looking forward to that. You want to stop sharing? Oh, so you want to share, Sunil, and we'll follow you?
Yeah, sure. I don't mind. Yeah. But
okay.
is this
We'll
the
follow you.
file? Is this the file you were doing?
That's the file, exactly.
Okay.
Go ahead, Sunil. You're good.
Okay, so last time I tried and I failed. Basically, it's good that we are doing threading now. And yeah, so Javed, you were explaining it?
Yeah, sure. So now we're threading. So before, what I tried to do is create a separate class for every single thing I wanted to do. I wanted to do 2 things here. One was buy 100 shares of the stock, and the other was sell 1 call contract. Here, because of the threading, we can do it all in one class. And we broke up the contract definition. So right there where Sunil is, we define the contract, and then we define the order. So here we're buying 100 shares of stock. And then in line 72, we comment that we're placing the order. These are all calls to the main IBKR API. All of these function calls are described in program.py, which I just pulled up before. I don't know if I saved program.py here, but when you download the API, program.py is downloaded onto your machine.
Yeah.
Right there.
So when that order you're sending an order and a contract. So both of them go as one order, right?
That's my understanding on this threading, but I think Sunil and Simi can explain that threading a little better than I can.
Yeah, it's simultaneous basically. It's so, if let's say your CPU, your machine has two processors, each one, can act on one operation, so they can happen simultaneously.
Can I add to that, Simi?
Sure,
No. So I was not asking in the terms of threading part. I understand that. So I'm asking, like, do they go as one single order to the iBroker, or do they get placed as two different orders?
Right. That's how Simi was kind of like explained it, right? So your program is sitting here, right?
Yes.
So the purpose of multi-threading is this. Imagine this is your CPU, not the black box that is sitting right next to you. The actual chip inside the computer. Quad-core processor. So there are 4 cores, right?
Right.
They are
Okay,
independent.
to put it into simple terms, like two commissions,
Processing
one
unit.
commission. I'm trying to ask that.
What's that?
Is it 2 commissions or 1 commission? Like, do I pay?
Each order is each. Oh, IBKR definitely wants
It's
a
2
commission for
orders.
each order. 2 orders,
Yeah.
That's what I was
2
trying to ask.
commissions.
It's
Okay.
1 thread per order. That's what we're doing.
Right.
Okay.
He was asking about the commission.
Because you can combine the orders into one order. Who was it? Who asked that question? Who asked that?
Same Diwan here again.
Yuvan, like in I know in Thinkorswim you can say covered call order, right? Or covered stock order.
Yes,
and it does
you
both
can.
as one order, right?
Mhm.
No, we're doing it separately. We're legging into the order basically. We're firing both at the same time, but we're sending the orders as 2 separate orders as opposed to say
Understood.
just do the covered
Understood.
call order. Just do one.
That's what I was asking. Thank you.
We're legging into it. I haven't, I'm sure there's probably a order type in order samples.py in that template, which just does the whole thing. But I hate doing that because it gives them too much discretion for putting the parameters in. It just treats it all as one thing. And I think whenever you combine orders, it just gives them a lot of room on the spread. So I like to do them separately and define my limits of what I'm trying to do.
So in this particular code, where is the actual threading happening?
46.
API thread there. I see.
So which one gets placed first? Is the option or the stock?
You always have to do the stock first, because if you do the option first, you're going to be naked short.
Yeah. So right now we are when we fire this code, right? So it is placing like 2 orders simultaneously. And right now, if it fire now, there are 2 orders in queue. So which will execute first?
Oh, good point.
Right now, both are simultaneous, and whichever gets filled first will get fired. But like Jared mentioned, this is not the ideal way to do it, because if your actual stock does not get fired first, but the option gets, then you're naked short.
Yep.
Yeah, so we
So
can.
You may not be able to. We should not be doing this, I guess.
In real life.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think we need to put check.
Don't try this at home now. Just kidding.
But I think there will be a way where we can get a confirmation for the first thread, and then only
create the
Next.
dependency. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And
So we
see,
have
the
to.
issue is with threading, you can't control which one happens first. So this is just a technical capability. I don't think this we will be using as such. That
Yeah.
whole check for position and all that has to happen. Like, so we check
Right.
for
So
position.
there's really no
It-
need for
not-
threading in this case, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
The condition is first place the order for the stocks. Once that gets filled 100%, right?
Yep.
Get the confirmation and then move on to the next. So it's more like a if then else statement rather than threading.
Yeah, it's that check
Yes, that's
position
much
thing.
better.
Right. But the purpose of this threading was to demonstrate that, hey guys, we can do the threading also, because if you're buying stocks for Ferrari and BMW, you can send those orders simultaneously and then do the options on it.
So in Fidelity, right, there are strategies, for example, right? So I can say, I don't know about IBKR. So there could be some utility where, you can do both simultaneously, right? Like you do a spread or a covered call. When I click, it will give me two options, right? It will buy the stock in one click, right? It will buy the stock and sell the covered call in one click. So could there be
Right.
something like that here? So
Right.
that
So the question
IBKR
was,
itself is smart enough to do it in the right sequence?
we have to make it smart.
Actually, sure.
By
Our problem will be that we'll have to check for confirmation and all that, which
exactly.
yeah. So
That is
Fidelity
already
has
inbuilt in the
that
tool.
implemented.
You're doing through TWS, it is already built in. But since we are building everything from the scratch in our program, we have to build that condition. So
Yeah.
what you described, Sadiq, on Fidelity, by one click, you can do both the functions. Fidelity will manage that process. We have to mimic that and build that process programmatically here, like Simi described just now.
That makes sense. Thank you.
This is really good. I think we covered a lot today. I think finally people are getting confident to move into this API. One thing I wanted to do is, that's basically the program. I think we went through the heart of it. We can fire it and it'll fire the trades. You'll see it'll fire the trades. You just right click, hit run, and it'll fire the trade. And you'll see it on TWS. If you can open up TWS, if you don't mind, Sunil.
Yeah, sure.
It'll show
Just one comment I wanted to make.
you.
I haven't dig much into it, but I saw something like this, what Sadiq was referring. Like you can also do, a contract can have two legs. I think
Yes.
we saw this earlier, leg 1 and leg 2. So I think and then we are appending leg
100%.
1 and leg 2, the contract, and we'll be firing the contract. So I think there is a way to do it, but I was not able to successfully implement this, but this is the IBKR example.
It should work. If you define the contract that way, it should work. And then we just got to find the right function to fire that trade.
Yeah.
There'll be a specific function to fire that trade. And then in Trader Workstation, it'll show that we fired the trade. Once you run this, you just right click run once this is open. And that's it. There's two things I wanted to show everybody as reference material, which I take for granted, but they're out there. If you go to you can go to the documentation for this IBKR API, and that's online at GitHub. So that's extensive documentation. The other thing you could do is call them. This is one of the few places in the world where somebody will actually pick up the phone. And they'll pick it up in the daytime. They'll even pick it up in the nighttime. Okay, because Asia, Australia, Europe, these guys are open while we're sleeping. So they even have API support even at night, not just 9 to 5. They're a global company. So I've called them. I call them like regularly nowadays. Sometimes I call them 5 times a day. And I annoy the hell out of them and ask them very specific questions like, what is this switch doing? What is that line doing? And they're very, very good at answering those. From my experience, I think I've got lucky. A lot of people have said it's hit or miss, like Danish or Shoaib have said it's hit or miss. So I get that. If you don't get a good guy, try again the next day. Maybe you'll get somebody better. But they will pick up the phone. So ask them directly if you need to. use the API documentation online. You just Google API documentation and you'll find it. And the other place, which was exceptionally helpful for writing this kind of program, was Traders Academy. So, hey, so now that Sunil has it open, let's fire the trade. And I'll show you the other resource. But yeah, let's right click on that and fire it. It work.
Maybe.
Yep, run covered call. That's how you run a program. That's one way to run a program. So it checks, it connects. It should have asked you because you're doing it outside of exchanged hours. And there you see it on the bottom left in Sunil's screen. These errors I haven't been able to get rid of yet, but we can find a way to get rid of those errors at some point. The other thing I wanted to show Sunil, if you don't mind, is where these videos are. I know this eClient, eWrapper came up. So if you go to Traders Academy,
Yeah, sure.
yeah, there's excellent Python API videos. And those do a very good job of explaining this concept of eClient and eWrapper. There's a Python API video series. Every 14 or 20 people who came on this call, I highly recommend to watch every single one of those 5 videos. Traders Academy, Interactive Brokers. I pasted in the WhatsApp a couple of times. These are free. And then if you go down to API on the right, yep, and hit Python. Yeah, so these are all the 8 videos. It should be mandatory viewing to watch those 8 videos. A lot of questions that were asked today are answered in these videos. So everybody knows how to fire a trade now. So, you know, during the week, try to get it fired in your paper trading account and then check and then set a timer on it to go again, fire that trade maybe on the same day next week. Now you're in automation mode. It'll get you excited that things are happening. And then we're going to build on this. Shoaib and I have a lot more that we picked up during the week, especially in terms of streaming data, on the streaming data, collecting data side, historical data, all those things. We made a lot of headway there. All that is in program.py. Program.py, I didn't even save in the directory, but it should be in your TWS API downloaded files. So on future sessions, this was extremely productive. Part of the reason I did this session was to see if there was actually interest, which there seems to be. So I think we could do more of these. I think that when we all ask questions and try to participate, we get pretty far. I think when we try to do it alone, we get stuck and get intimidated. So when you open program.py, you can literally just like uncomment lines in here and get things done. Let me just, it's 10:30, I'll just show one more thing. If let me just show you as an example. If you, Sunil, go down to define start here, this is like 1,000 lines of code. Everything you could possibly do is in this program. You would never run the whole program, you just run pieces of it. So if you go to define start, like in the program, it's already in there. Just Control G, and you'll find it. This has all the functions that you want to use in the else right there. They're all commented out. So let me just tell you to uncomment, let's do tick data operations. No, actually comment that out. Let's do historical data. Yeah, and then comment out order operations because we don't need that. That was the default they turned on. Okay, now if you right click on historical data operations, so we're gonna look at historical data. So we uncommented that. Then let's go to it. Go to declarations, yeah. Okay, here is where we're gonna define what kind of historical data we want. These are the only 2 things you need to change. That's it. And then you got to define your contract. That's it. Okay. So right there on contract samples, line for 947, we're going to change this to US stock. Yeah. And where you find that is in the contracts, .US stock. Yep. It should fill it in if you type US. US stock only. Capital US, sorry, capital US. Yeah, there it is. Okay, where you find that contract is again contract.py. Sunil, you have that in your API files.
So where is this programs.py?
In the API files. Who is that?
Okay.
That's
Sadiq, yeah.
when you download all the files, they're in C drive, TWS, API, samples, Python, testbed. I think
Yeah. You sent it on the
chat.
So I also did the same. I copied it into our makes sense.
And then if you go to contracts.py in here, contract samples, it has all the contract samples. Okay. So here, if Sunil, if you search for US stock, then you'll see that's what we're going to call on right here, US stock. Yep, right here. That's what we're calling on. Okay. So if you go back to program.py, you have to define the contract, and then you need to define in historical data down below what kind of historical data we want. Just turn on one of these. Turn off the other two. Just turn on one of them. Yeah, turn off those two. Yep, turn that off. Turn the lines underneath off too. Those lines that are highlighted, you got to turn them off. The indented lines. Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. That would throw an error. Yep, that's a better way to do it. That's fine. Yep, exactly. We're only going to define one of these. So what this does, line 952, it's saying, let's get historical. Okay, that 4102, that's the number of this definition, right? We have to increment this by 1 every time we do this again. Okay, so you could do 4102, you could do 4103. So you could do all kinds of calls on this historical data. You can get 1 minute, you can get 5 minutes, you can get whatever you want. All of it's listed in the documentation. We're getting 1 month back, and we're doing it daily, and we're pulling the midpoint. Okay, that's it. That's all we have to do. Now we're going to run it, and it'll, wait, do we have the right ticker? Go back to contract samples to make sure we have a live ticker. Yeah, let's change that to QQQ. It's more active. Okay, the rest should be fine. Change the contract to exchange to smart. Yeah, instead of island, make it smart. Exchange down below. Yep, change that to smart. Okay, we'll go back to program and run it. Program.py. Run it. Boom. There you go. That's how easy it is. There's 1,000 lines of code in here, but that you only have to turn on 3 things to get this done. Historical data. Now let's do live data, Sunil. Turn these off. Turn off, turn that one off. Yep. Yeah. You don't need to turn off contract samples. Doesn't really matter. We're not going to call on this anyway. Go back to define start. And we're going to call on, we're going to do live data now. Let's go back to, let's go back to contracts start. We'll do live data. Let's do live data on futures because futures market's open. So define start. Yep. And let's turn this historical data off. Let's turn on tick by tick all data. It's the last one. No, second to last. Tick by tick. Yes, that one. Now go right click on it and it'll show us. This is the advantage of PyCharm or some of these IDEs. They show you what it's connected to. Okay, here we're going to do futures. So let's do all last. Turn everything off except for all last. Yeah, turn all these off and turn those bottom ones off too. Yep. Turn them or delete them. Yeah. Delete them all or just turn them off.
Okay, I was finding easy way.
Joab, you know the easy way to turn everything off together?
It's okay. I'll find out. In Visual Studio, it's
Not the
Control
easy way to
C.
turn them all off. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Change.
Go in column mode and just select all the lines and then hit Control/.
Oh,
wow.
Control/. That's right. Control/. Right. Okay. So change contract samples to US futures right here.
Okay, US futures.
Okay. No. Sorry. I misspoke. European stock. Change that to US futures. If you type it, it'll come up. Oh, simple futures. My bad. Simple futures. Everybody on the call, memorize every contract type. Simple
Yeah.
futures. No, I don't know if it's simple future. I think it's simple futures. I think both of them are there, but type it again. Simple future. Oh yeah, you're right. You're good with parentheses. Yes, with parentheses. Okay. Now, here's a big secret, everybody. Pay attention. Wait for it. This one's huge. That 0 right there. This is not anywhere, okay? Only me and Shoaib will appreciate this because of heartache. Flip that switch, Sunil. Flip that switch. If you weren't on the call, you didn't get this secret. Flip that switch to 1. Make it a 1. That is like nowhere. You're only going to know that if you called them. There's no way you're going to ever figure that out.
Yeah. What does it say? Ignore size.
Ignore
No,
size.
no, this is number of ticks, integer. That parameter is number of ticks.
1.
I think if we keep 0, it pulls everything maybe.
Pulls everything? No, I think it doesn't work if it's 0.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got stuck there forever. Like
That's what I think. Maybe it's trying to pull everything. That's why it must be getting stuck, right?
yeah, that's probably
0
trying to
means
pull
like
everything at
everything.
once.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you'll get stuck if you leave that at 0. 0 will work for other types of contracts, maybe, but not on futures. It won't work on futures. It'll probably work on FX and stock, maybe, but it won't work on futures. So now it's good, Sunil. No, change your futures contract. Go back to contract samples. Go to the contract samples file. Yep. Go to the contract samples file. Yeah, and go to simple futures because it's the wrong future. On a future, it's very particular. You have to have the right expiration. So these are all good, but put the expiration as 2020 1/2. That'll be December. Yeah, see, that's too old. That's not going to come up. So, 1/2. Okay, now we're good. Now go back to program and run it. So that's all you have to change is 2 places, and it will run. Oh, you don't have market data, right?
No.
Okay, flip to me. If you come off, I'll come
Okay.
on. Or, yeah, flip to me, and I'll share. Now, let me get this one. Okay, let me bring my pie chart over. Okay, and then program.py.
So basically you need a data subscription, eh?
Yeah, it's $14 a month or 15 bucks. 14.
Okay.
Just give me one sec. See this. Give me one sec.
Are you doing futures, Javed?
Yes.
Okay.
His features are open right now.
Right. No, but for the program, that's the plan, like to do ES stuff also.
No, I was just doing it because it's nighttime.
Okay,
Just to show tick by tick data.
got it.
Tick by tick, is it on a seconds interval?
No, it's on a tick interval. You know what a tick is?
No,
A tick is every trade.
every trade. Oh, got it. Okay.
Every single trade. Every single trade. During the day, the ES futures will give you 600,000 rows.
Okay. Got it.
600,000 trades happen during the day.
Okay, got it.
So they'll give you every single trade. I would recommend storing it in a database and then pulling on it with pandas. That's what I've been doing. We'll show how to do that on another session.
Configure the parameter for running the program. Right click on the file name up top.
Oh yeah, right click on the file name. And then
Edit yet.
put it here.
Yep.
My port bad? Oh, I'm not logged in. My bad. That would do it. Hold on. Logging in. Just give me 1 sec. Don't forget to log in. Okay. Yeah, this is pretty cool, the tick data. And you could pull in like, you know, very detailed historical data and live data on the options. So today I was asking the question, what did the extrinsic look like during the day? Well, nobody knows because nobody's looking at the screen. You could just run the historicals and see what the yields would have been and then try to aim for that, you know, in real time or aim for it tomorrow or back test against that and look for yields that were the highest yields you can get and just target for that. Because the yields are astronomical today. Well, astronomical in non-pandemic times. We've seen higher, but you know, now we're in normal land. But you wouldn't know what those yields were unless you could save the historical data. Okay, so now I'll run it. TWS is up and running. No good? Oh, it doesn't like my socket. Strange. 7497. Okay, hold on. Let me, yeah. Isn't that what we usually use, 7497?
Yeah. That is correct.
Let me see if that, oh, you know what I did? Today I changed it because I was working on something. Hold on.
I'll probably change it to 96.
Yeah, I changed it to 96 because I was using iBridge Pi and they required me to use 7496. Okay, let me try again.
Oh, the enable ActiveX and socket E clients. Did you disable it? Same settings, go to same global.
So. Yeah, you're right. Good catch. I don't know why I turned that off. Oh, maybe because it was updating. Sometimes when it updates, maybe it threw that off. I don't know.
Okay.
I could have sworn I had it on. Well, here we go.
Right.
Okay, after all that debugging, this is tick by tick. Who asked the tick by tick? Who asked about tick by tick?
Yeah, Vijay.
Was it?
Vijay.
VJ. Okay, VJ. See, look, it's a little slow at night, but there's the timestamp. 10:47.
Okay.
30 seconds. Notice it's not seconds. It's every single trade. In the same second, you have multiple trades. Yes, exactly.
Okay. Okay, got it.
And it also gives the size. So I want to tell you guys something interesting. It would be nice to create a candle, or you don't know, you don't need to visualize it because your machine's already talking to machines. But it would be nice to not only look at price, but also give weight based on size. Because if it's not a good size, then who cares? It's not really an important trade, you know? So if you could get weight to the price based on size, that goes beyond volume candles, because you're giving weight on every single trade to see which trades are important and which trades aren't. You know? So this is what you can't visualize in existing programs that we're using, like in existing front ends. But since you have the granularity of the data, you could do anything you want with it.
Okay.
Usually, you know, you got to pay for this data most of the time if you get it historically. If you just do data dumps and save it, then, you know, you can run this in the background every day and then just do back testing on your own tick data. Collect it and just back test against it. It's about 600,000 rows if you do ES. Docs will be less, but the ES and NQ are very heavy. I mean, they're not going to be big file sizes, but it'll be around 600,000 rows if you save it in an active mode. Okay, so I think we covered a lot today. Next time I'll show you how to save historical data into pandas. I'll show you how to save tick data into MySQL and then pull from MySQL into pandas. Then I'll show you some analysis on pandas that I ran on the options chain, like calculating extrinsic, calculating black shoals, calculating those kind of things on pandas. So you get the feel of pandas data frames and manipulating data. But
we can use TWS to visually see these orders being placed. So I have a setup that I would like to share.
Yes, please do. Please do. Please do.
Oh, sure. I was about to ask, can we see that in TW?
So if you want to see all the orders that are being placed, right? In TWS, have TWS open.
Okay.
Go to your wherever the installation is. My installation is here, right there. TWS apps, TWS API, right? Browse to samples, Python, testbed. In the testbed, you'll find the program .py that Javid just went over.
Okay.
And this file requires the port that you're going to be running on, which is basically global configuration and then this
API.
Sorry, API.
Yes.
And then settings. Right there.
Okay.
Once you have that configured, you can open either you can run it from PyCharm by right-clicking and then hitting this run button. But before that, please go to modify run configuration and put this port number, because it's a parameter that program.py file is looking for. And you can do that and run, right? The second item is, the second method, I should say, open a command prompt. I'm doing that. It opens up in my other screen. I'm bringing it over here. Browse to this location. Let me highlight you the location. This location, and then go all the way to this testbed. So what was it? CD, apps, TWS, samples, Python. testbed, right? Here, type following command. Python program.py -p as in port and your port number, which is 7497. Okay, so I will bring the TWS in the background, watch this window, or I will rather maximize it to show you the dramatic effect, I guess. Javed segmented and dissected each section of program.py and showed you different capabilities. I'm just running it, everything there. So everything is uncommented on my program.py file. So when I hit run, it will place all sorts of orders and it will do a lot of activities. And you will see those activities appear on this screen. Ready?
Yeah, ready.
I just hit enter. And it killed the bus.
It's complaining about not having an account. It's saying there's no account. You must have got some typo, like some key that has changed that account variable name. Go to that 397 or just go to, no, you can just click on that link. Yeah, 67 or whatever. And is that saying account? There's some
Yes, correct one.
No, there's some key that got pressed so that it's misspelled now. Where's the definition for account? Go up.
It's right there.
Wait, I don't see the definition. No, this is the usage, right? That's the value you're passing in. Whereas if you go
I just
up,
ran it 30 seconds ago.
yeah, that's why. So that was before, I guess, whatever key got pressed. You can try to do a local history. Do a right click. Do a right click over there. Yeah, local history. Okay, now click on the, no, yeah, click on that first thing, the on the left hand side. Just click on this.
This guy?
That line, yeah, just click on it. The first one, it will show you the last change that was made.
Yeah, there's a client
the
ID 99 changed to 0.
It should be fine.
The one above, the first one, 15.
There we go. 199, which should be fine.
Okay, now the second one. It
Should be fine.
Change that was made. Third one.
Should be fine.
Okay.
Should be fine.
Okay.
Should be fine.
Yeah.
Should be fine.
Wait. Try to scroll down. Is that the only change? Oh, it's showing you the current one is on the right hand side. Okay. So, I mean, you're comparing it with the current one, right?
That is correct.
Okay. If nothing has changed here, it could be one of the other files, but yeah, somehow it doesn't recognize that account is an attribute anymore.
Anyways, so this, if once you run this, all these orders will appear here. And I just placed bunch of orders like this, and I canceled it before I showed it to you. These orders will show up here, right? IBM, BMW, there's a combo order. So program.py is the most powerful and the mother of all programs. Everything is in here. You can run it. Back to you, Javed.
Thank you, Shab and Simi. The one other thing that everybody's dying to know is check position. So we did that one. We figured it out already, how to check position. It's in the directory on GitHub. If you go to fire trade, here, it's over here. In the IBKR directory, it's called fire trades, covered call, get position. If you go into that code, there's language here around getting the position. So we have you scroll down in here to this section. We created a new class. Don't call it test tab because that's just what they default all the time. So this is the lines. You can find your account value, update your portfolio. The one everybody wants is right here, position, right? So update portfolio.
Javed, we couldn't see your screen.
Oh, I'm not sharing screen. My bad. Everybody else fell asleep.
I was trying to follow in the code.
Yeah, I'm looking at the code of the GitHub. I'm trying to find the test bed.
Let me share. That's funny. It's funny it took so long to catch that mistake. It means everybody's sleeping. Okay, so in GitHub, the file is called fire trades covered call get position. Let me pull it up. Let me see if it'll work. So I do raw control A, control C. I didn't get that git working yet, so I'm just doing it the old school way. I will file new, type on file, call it git position, paste it. Okay, looks like everything should be good to go. Now this didn't thread it, it did it as separate classes, which is the original way I ran all these things. But it should give me I'm gonna turn this streaming off and try to run this. Here we go. Here's all the details around my positions. Let's see. P&Ls. Where's my actual position here? Here, position value, gross position value. Position value. How about just position? Here's position, guys, right here at the bottom. There's my positions. If you check TWS, which I'll go to now, to see if it matches up. I don't know how to use TWS very well. Where would I find positions here, guys? Activity?
You need to close this window, like, yeah, make it big. Top, yeah. Portfolio.
Portfolio.
On the left hand side, yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
Here we go. See 3 positions there? 400, -1, and 100. 400, -1, and 100. Boom. There you go. So now you have all the pieces, guys, to rule the world and become Renaissance. Got to go do it. You know how to fire trades. You know how to get streaming data. And you know how to check position. What else do you need, right? Just put them together and you could build your own algo.
Yeah, except that I only know one trade. Buy.
But you know, how many trades do you need to get rich?
I don't know.
Just one trade.
If
No,
we are
no,
building
no.
an algo,
Numan made 100% this year just doing that one trade.
okay. All right, then yeah. That's cool.
I think what people get caught up in is they try to do a lot and then they realize that if they did less, they'd probably do better. In terms of finding, the word algo becomes very intimidating for a lot of people. It sometimes means high frequency trading, you know, and it doesn't have to mean what the mainstream media has portrayed it to be. You know, if you're making money and you're doing it in an automated fashion, you have an algo. You have a system. It doesn't have to be crazy. This group is an algo. It's just where we did it manually, but you can pretty much, we already know what we want to automate. Just a matter of kind of combining it in a system to do. Even if you had a semi-algo, which a lot of them are a lot of times, because people have their hands on the wheel, kind of like driving a Tesla in autopilot, I guess, or semi-autopilot. You got to have your hands on the wheel anyway. So you can just use the get position and fire trade and do it every week. And you have an algo system right there. You know, and get position, fire trade every week. Do it on Monday and ignore Fridays, ignore the weekend. Go into the weekend exposed if you have to. And then now you have an algo, and then start tweaking it to add more to it and build on it. If it's making you money, it works. Simple.
That's a great analogy, the Tesla one.
Yeah. You keep, a lot of them are not black boxes. A lot of times they're gray boxes, you know? Which means somebody's sitting there with controls. They put take profit, they put stop loss, they put parameters of how many contracts you're allowed to take. They put max drawdowns. A lot of people like kind of watch these things come through and, you know, change the parameters on the fly. It doesn't have to be fully automated, but even semi-automated will take a lot of weight off your shoulders. Now think about, we take this for granted because we know the trade inside out. If you wanted to hand this trade to your mom or your dad or your grandfather or grandmother or aunt or uncle, and they didn't want to know about anything about options, just tell them to open up an IBKR account, put in login credentials, and run the script. And then now they could have the wheel strategy running, and you didn't even have to teach them options to do it. It's endless possibilities. You're only limited by your creativity. I think that's probably a good place to end it. I mean, you usually try to cut us off at 2 hours just because, you know, you get tired. But this was extremely productive from my point of view. I hope it was helpful for you guys.
No, it helped.
I will save the recording and then put it up on the website, and you guys can just access it on the website. No problem. I'll save it to Google, YouTube, and then put the YouTube video up on the website. So you can, and then we'll try to do more of these where we just, you know, let's write some business requirements for ourselves. Like, I want to get this done, and then let's just hammer away at it, like a handful of us, and save the code, and then just keep tweaking it.
So the problem with the program file not running was TWS was in the process of update. So I have the orders placed. So you want me to share my screen?
Yeah, let me kill mine. Okay, go for it.
So I had to close the IBKR application and fire the program.py, and it's still chugging. It's giving me all the streaming data. It's giving all the tick by tick up-to-date market information. You can see all that information scrolling through. So for some reason, IBKR server were disconnected, and we were not able to run the program.py. So this is visually seen into TWS here. So in TWS, there is a window and then order management, and then you click on orders. This will bring up the order panel, and it shows all the orders that are pending. Since the market is closed, it's not placing any of these orders, but it has queued in all these orders. I can filter those orders to say only live orders, and it shows all the orders right there. And my streaming data is still running.
Yeah, it's running everything it could possibly do, I think, right?
That is correct.
Does TWS show a visualization for this streaming data? Is there a built-in program?
So that's what I did, right?
Right.
Earlier, I ran it from program.py. What I can try to do again is
The depth is the level 2, it looks like, huh?
yeah. Let me try to do the same thing from here. So let me stop the program.
Okay.
Let me cancel all the orders. I highlight all the orders and hit the delete key. And the cool guy comes up and says, order canceled. And right now, all these should disappear. There you go, because I don't have any live order.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to here. And let me browse to that location. CD apps, TWS, samples, Python, and testbed. Python, okay, let me clear the screen. Python, program.py, and then port number 7497. Let me adjust the size of the window. And once we run this, the streaming data should appear here. So for some reason, it's not doing it from here, but you guys just saw from here.
Okay.
See that? All the orders appearing.
Okay. Okay, great. So it's the orders we fire from the program. Okay.
That is correct.
Okay. Yeah. Now my question is, we are streaming a market data, right? No.
That is correct.
Does TWS show any visualization for the tick by tick data?
No.
No, right?
That's a good question for the visualization. So what I would recommend is using matplotlib or plotly. If you're using Python, those are easy visualization programs that are kind of built to talk to your Python script. So matplotlib, plotly, or Seaborn, those are pretty popular in the data science space to visualize your charts. You know, like you want candles. Who asked that question?
Vijay.
Vijay. So I have some scripts I can send you where I visualize the tick by tick data.
Okay.
I can send you that. And I'll send you the scripts that help you draw candles too. In Plotly. Yeah, I did it in Plotly. But I'll also learn how to do it in Matplotlib and Seaborn. What I was having a little bit of hard time is I could do it with when you kind of capture the data into a pandas data frame, but I wasn't able to make the chart update like the way Thinkorswim does it, where it's just constantly moving in the chart. So, but I think that's in Seaborn. You're able to get that done. I just never completely got to the finish line on it. But maybe me and you could work on that together. But I'll show you the visualizations that I did static, at least, and you could kind of update those charts, and then maybe we can figure out how to make the chart look like streaming, like you do on Thinkorswim.
Okay, great. Yeah. Thanks.
And you know what I would recommend, it's going to be hard because we're coming from a life of I don't want to use the word programming, but we're cultured to think I need to look at the chart and make a decision. I would recommend try to get out of the mode of getting the computer. I want to use the right words here. Try not to get the computer to act like a human. Try to get the computer to act like a computer. A computer doesn't need to look at a chart. We do. So that's good for us to help us, make decisions. A computer just needs to look at data.
Right.
We use charts because we're human, and charts help us to look at patterns in our mind. But a computer can think of patterns just digesting data, analyzing that data, spitting out data, analyzing again, and it doesn't necessarily need a visualization aid. For us, it might help us to do better analysis if we do pull it up and visualize it, and then think of how we're going to write more analysis based on the visualization. But the computer doesn't need to physically read a chart to get things done. It just needs to physically look at the way the data looks. For example, I said tick size. We don't have charts that do tick size. We don't have candles that account for tick size. If we did, we might want a fat candle when it's a heavy tick size and a thin candle when it's not. But you don't need to make that candle. Just put the factors in your data frame and it'll weight the prices accordingly. So try to get the computer to think like a computer. I think we get caught in the trap that I'm mimicking a human. That's not the point. It's like we can only look at one ticker. Don't look at one ticker. Look at 20 if you want, and look at them all at the same time, which we cannot do as a human. So think about things you cannot achieve as a human being and try to get them done in the machine, because that's kind of the point of getting it all into the machine.
Right. The visualization is for us to get some meaningful data and then program it in terms of the data. Yeah.
Look at like patterns we want to think about and then program those patterns.
Right.
Yeah. Or think about ways to think about the data, because we got to think in our own mind space, and then get the computer to think like a computer, to look at much more than we could ever look at with our human eye, right? We got to get out of the mode that our human eyes can't see it. Once we get there, it becomes extremely powerful. Like I can't look at the whole S&P 500 at once and look at every extrinsic for every strike, but the computer can. We just figured out how to do that today, right? I mean, lots of it, and then in future sessions we'll tie it all together. I mean, this language isn't hard to learn. That's why I recommended using this language. Anybody who hasn't used languages can pick it up. Shoaib has a video that shows how to learn Python in 1 hour. I love that video. The guy goes really fast, so you can't really follow him in that 1 hour. You got to pause it and think about it and try it. But he literally teaches all of what you need to know in Python in 1 hour, I think, on that famous video. My favorite videos are edX, Dr. Chuck. It's a free class. You can do Python for everybody. He has a free book. He has free videos. And then Python data structures, which is critical, I think, to using pandas and data frames to replace the old way of looking at relational databases and manipulating them. But I would say if you want to get good, do pandas. Pandas pretty much will get done any kind of analytics you could think of with relational databases. Okay, I think we covered a lot. I will end the recording first because I'm usually bad at that. Let me stop the recording. Okay.